Greetings from SpiritQuest Sedona Retreats, the place for healing, self-growth, and relationship repair. Thanks for joining us. Thank you for joining me today. We're going to be answering the question, how couples can communicate more effectively. Effective communication for couples involves navigating emotional hurdles by implementing structured techniques and prioritizing the health of the partnership over the conflict itself. So today we're going to take a deep dive into this topic and give you some wonderful techniques for productive communication. The first thing I'd like to take a look at is what are the hurdles to communication when it doesn't feel right. Most of us agree that when we don't feel safe, it is hard to express ourselves. It is hard to share. Also, another hurdle is when we are trying to express something, but we never feel heard. We never feel really understood or validated during the process. And the third hurdle is that the communication itself is unproductive because in the end, no resolution was ever reached. That feels frustrating. We've spent all this time and energy and we're just running in circles and nothing has really, we haven't had a breakthrough in any way. So I would love to explore this topic with you by looking at the signs that may appear indicating that your communication with your partner is not productive at all, or it may even be toxic. One of the first signs that you have non-productive communication and you are not effectively expressing yourself, each of you, is that you have explosive outbursts. There may be yelling, there may be shouting, there may be an extreme burst of anger. That is one of the first signs that you are in the unproductive, ineffective communication zone. Another sign that you're in this zone may be that you are talking over each other. Some people call this yelling, some people call this screaming, but basically you're not allowing time for each person to express themselves. A third sign that you're in the unproductive zone is blaming. When there are a lot of yous, this feel like finger pointing. You did this, you did that, you always do this. That's in the blaming zone. Another indication is when return to past events are occurring. So when we're supposedly trying to solve an issue in the moment, but the partner keeps bringing up old events. And you did this last time and you always do this and you try to do this to me and overall you keep doing this to me. And so they're returning to the same story and they're returning to the same past event. Now remember, this might end up being their story, not a true story, but this is definitely one of the signs. Another sign that you're in the unproductive zone is walking away. So when you're trying to say something and the partner is just turning and walking down the hall or doing something that they appear to be very distracted and they're not present with you. It's really hard to feel heard or seen when that's happening. Another sign that you're in the unproductive zone is stonewalling. Not saying anything and just shutting down completely can be just as disruptive as yelling and screaming. So what I'd love to do in this episode is kind of address these and give you some techniques for productive communication and how to sort of remedy these obstacles and these hurdles, and how to create an environment where we feel safe to explain how we're feeling, where we feel validated and heard, where we can actually reach a resolution or solve the problem. So I would love to transition here to techniques for productive communication. One of the first things we want to establish is that we're not going to have a conversation when there's intense energy, when someone is charged. This might be you, it might be your partner. But when someone is angry, when someone is frustrated, they might even feel hurt, but you can tell that the energy is really charged. That is the worst time to talk, because you definitely will not be heard. You definitely will not be validated. So when you feel that energy in yourself or your partner, you need to establish a give it a break period. And hopefully you can agree with your partner in advance that when that happens, we're just going to give it a break. And you might say something like, in that moment, you might say, the energy is so intense right now, I'm going to give it a break until things are more calm. And then leave. Go take a walk, go take a bath, go work out in the gym. Whatever you need to do to let that energy diffuse. And then you can ask at some point, is it a good time to talk about this? And you can tell if that energy is still charged or if they have sort of softened a bit. Once that softening occurs and you feel like you can have a productive conversation, then it is important to take the next steps to have wonderful, productive, and effective communication that leads to a problem solving. More importantly than solving the problem, is the fact that this is our partner. If we can't talk to them, who can we talk to? And we don't want our partners always feeling like they can't talk to us, therefore they have to go talk to somebody else. That's sometimes what leads to emotional affairs. So we want to be able to establish intimacy and safety. This is a more important issue than solving a problem. That's why every conversation like this needs to have some additional elements beyond just solving the problem. And that's what I'd like to talk about now. So when you reconvene after the take a break period, I would suggest choosing something in your house that can be your talking stick. This is an item that you have agreed that, hey, when we get into one of those situations, we are going to try to have a productive conversation by using a talking stick. And when you're using this item, you're going to establish a time to talk. And you can use a timer if needed, where each of you gets 1 to 2 minutes to talk uninterrupted. So the other person will not talk while you have that talking stick. And, keep it a minimum, like 1 or 2 minutes, so that if a person has a stick and they're going on and on and on, chances are the other person only heard the first sentence or two. Then maybe they're tuning it out or they're overwhelmed. So it's best to keep it pretty short. While you're doing this, the other person is in active listening mode. They need to take inventory within themselves. Am I here present with my partner? Am I listening? Or am I thinking about what I'm going to say and thinking about what made me angry and thinking about what happened last time and thinking about what my mother used to do to me and thinking about, and on and on. If we can just be present and say, no, here I go. My mind is taking me away. I'm going to just be here and listen. I'm going to be an active listener without judging, without trying to figure out what I'm going to say. I'm just going to listen. We call this heart speak at SpiritQuest because we're not just having the mind engage in what it's wanting to say or do, but we're actually tuning in and we're watching our partner, we're listening to the words, we're trying to take in the whole picture and be 100% present with respect and love. Also, during this discussion time, we are going to 100% eliminate sarcasm. Sarcasm does not belong in any kind of productive communication. As soon as we hear a sarcastic tone, even though the words might be, I'm sorry, if it's sarcastic, we immediately dismiss that. So we cannot include sarcasm in any way, shape, or form. Also, we want to try to stay away from the blaming word you. When we say you, it feels like a finger point in the face. It's best to try to rephrase it into, I felt I need to be in a relationship where not you need to always do this or you need to change that. No, it's I need to be in a relationship where I feel safe, or I need to be in a partnership where I can be included, or I can be heard, I can be seen, I can be appreciated, those types of things. And then the other element we're going to include is kind words. If we can agree to include things like, before maybe it's your turn to talk, right? And so you get the talking stick and you say, thank you for sharing that. Now I'm going to give you, how I feel about it, or I appreciate where you're coming from. Now I would like to explain where I'm coming from. But little words like thank you, I appreciate you, really kind of diffuse the situation along the way. And so your discussion will go back and forth until at some point you feel like it's appropriate for the request. Would you be willing to? And this is where we try to come up with a solution to the problem. And, both sides are welcome to put in a request. To end the process, we're going to, at the very end, when we feel like we've had productive communication, we're going to indicate that the relationship is more important than the issue. We're going to help our partner feel like, yeah, I love you, I appreciate you, I am so glad to have you in my life, and we're going to work through this together. Or I'm going to let that go. Or I'm sorry I exploded like that, or I understand now what was happening. It's just at the end of the conversation to give clarity on maybe an understanding of how that broke out, or maybe it's something that keeps coming up and it's like, I realize this issue keeps coming up, I'm going to try to work on it. But something at the end of the process indicating that your partnership and the love of each other and the respect and honor is more important than the issue. Now, I'm not talking about major issues like, affairs and things like that may involve much more to this process that we could teach you at SpiritQuest. But I'm just talking about everyday conversation. It's amazing how little things like cleaning the kitchen and who took the trash out, and those things can turn into arguments. So this is a very effective strategy for our partners to gain the intimacy they so desire and to keep their relationships healthy by validating each other and by coming up with a solution and by having those words of appreciation and kindness. Thank you so much today for joining me. I appreciate you, and visit us at SpiritQuest Sedona Retreats, where we can, through our couples retreats here at SpiritQuest, we work through these nonviolent communication models of effective communication, helping our couples really take their relationship to the next level. Thank you.